And, of course, Sweeney's our WFAN Yankee reporter, and he's the host of the postgame on the Fan and host of the BXB podcast with Keith McPherson. And new BXB will be recording tomorrow live, 9 a.m. on WFAN's Twitch channel. So he is busy. We're busy. Sween, how you doing, buddy? You locked in?
I'm good, fellas. How you doing today?
Awesome. All right, listen, we can complain and whine and moan like we've done for the first 2 hours, basically, of the show, or we could come up with solutions. Let me hit you with my lineup for tonight. Here's what I would do. You ready? Mm-hmm. I would go Bader and Setter leading off. Torres can't lead off anymore. Bader, Judge, Rizzo, Stanton, 1 through 4. Going to put Torres number 5. I'm going to put Cabrera in left. Donaldson, drop him down to 7 against the lefty. Otherwise, I wouldn't play him. I'm going to give Higashioka a start tonight, and then probably IKF at shortstop batting ninth. What does Boone do differently?
I think I saw Jack Curry pointed out that Higashioka has caught the last couple with Severino, and they've worked well, so that's probably a good thought right there. Mm-hmm. I still don't see Bader leading off. I'll tell you what, I think my 3 best hitters right now, Judge, Rizzo, Stanton, have to go 1, 2, 3. And I think that's a good way to attack Valdez. I've been looking back at the game that they faced Valdez in June at the stadium. Now LeMahieu led off, but Judge singled off of him and hit a ball 118 miles an hour 2 at-bats later. Stanton hit a 3-run homer off of him in the first inning. Rizzo had a tremendous at-bat against him. He fouled off 11 pitches and walked in a 16-pitch battle. I'm putting Judge, Rizzo, Stanton, 1, 2, 3, and then dropping Torres down to 4. I know why you tried, but Torres just doesn't have the leadoff capability. And I was dreading it last night because if you saw the way the ninth inning was playing out, you get one guy on, you turn the lineup over, and Torres is batting leadoff instead of Judge. I just think you're putting your 3 best hitters up there. And I know Rizzo's lefty, but I think he handles Valdez. That's what I would do first time through.
What do you think the attitude or the reality of Aaron Boone and the powers above him that be of actually making a change in the lineup? Do you think that's going to happen, or are they going to keep running it back like they have for the last couple of weeks?
I mean, I think you're just moving some pieces around here because there aren't really a lot of options. I mean, listen, for several days, all you heard was got to get Carpenter in the lineup. Need offense. Get Carpenter in there. And BT, you were one of them, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so last night he goes over 4. It's like, he's done. Get him out of here. I don't want to see him again. Not you. Other people have. Okay, everybody's. I mean, there's not a lot you can do. The guy didn't have a lot of at bats, and then he's going out there. Good luck. Go get Justin Verlander. And same thing. If you want to start Peraza yesterday, okay, good luck. Go get Justin Verlander, kid, with 14 big league at bats or whatever he's had. Right. So I think there's sometimes there's little you can do. Right now, you're moving some pieces around, and it looked awful against Verlander. You try to bounce back against Valdez. I have a story stuck in my head from the 2009 World Series. Phil Hughes told me this. He said they got dominated by Cliff Lee. And all of a sudden, it's like, okay, wow, you're going to have to face this guy again in a couple of days. What's it going to look like? And this is a lineup that had all-stars and Hall of Famers. And Hughes said some of the guys are down in the clubhouse, and Jeter walks in. He says, so what, guys? And they're kind of looking at him, taken aback. Like, so what? What do you mean? We just lost game 1 of the World Series. He's like, yeah, so what? It's one game. It's a 7-game series. We'll get him tomorrow. And that was Jeter's attitude and mentality. I know that's different because you don't have guys who've won in this clubhouse and in this room. So, but that's the kind of thing that somebody needs to say. Anthony Rizzo probably has to be that kind of guy. He's the only one that has the hardware. Nobody else has hardware in this room right now.
That's right.
And I think he's the kind of guy that could do that.
Sweetie, I was a little disappointed. I don't need to belabor, but I don't know. Maybe you had access to a different camera. You had a conversation with somebody. Listen, I understand that Stanton absolutely dented that wall 113 miles per hour. I know Rizzo's not fast, even though he's a good base runner. I don't know how the network doesn't give us an overhead camera. I wanted to see where the relay was in relation to him being at third base. Mm-hmm. And they've also been very aggressive setting guys this year. Sometimes they've had a few guys punched out at the dish, but I actually like that mentality. The Yankees are the inferior team. Put the onus on the Astros to make plays. Why wouldn't you send Rizzo?
Yeah, I think a lot of it with one out, I think a lot of it just depends on, like you said, the relay. I didn't get a second look at that, but I mean, they're very careful of studying the outfield arms, the infield, and the relays and things like that. I think they probably felt that and Rizzo's a pretty good base runner too. I think
yes,
we've seen from time to time.
He is.
I think you take everything into account in real time. Okay, what did the relay do? What kind of a secondary lead did he get? How did he turn second? How's he approaching third? That kind of thing. I don't have a definitive answer for you, BT, but Luis Rojas was very good at that job this year, and I would have conversations with him throughout the course of the year about different instances and processes and what he thinks of certain outfields and certain arms. I know that all of that is in this calculation when you stop at him right there.
Sweeny, when you think about how Aaron Boone managed the rotation last night, it was Taillon for a 4 1/3, and Clark Schmidt comes in, and he barely gets out of the fifth inning with a double play
ball,
with the
big double
bases
play,
loaded.
yeah.
Why would he run him back out there again? He had already had someone up. What was the thought process? Was it just to save the bullpen? Because it gave the impression, and we have had some callers say this, and I couldn't even help thinking this. Maybe they're just trying to get through this one. You know what I mean? Even though the game was close.
Yeah, first of all, I think the way they used Schmidt in this postseason shouldn't come as a total surprise if we watched how they used him in the last couple of weeks of the season. I mean, they had started pushing. I think they used him about 4 times in 8 days in a role, to get him ready for roles like this and see how he bounced back physically, how his stuff bounced back. So they were pushing him into these short relief roles. Honestly, that bottom of the order, it's not that imposing for Houston. I think when he got through that middle and you're facing 6, 7, 8, 9, that should be a good matchup for the right-hander Clark Schmidt, okay? And all of a sudden, the guy gave up 2 homers to right-handed batters all year, about 125 at-bats. Then he gives up 2 in 3 at-bats on 2-strike pitches both times, okay? This isn't a tip-your-cap thing. It's just, that part of the lineup is not filled with guys that you're scared of and shouldn't have been scared of last night. Clark Schmidt should not have been, what is he doing bringing Schmidt against this part of the order? If he didn't walk Alvarez, if Bregman or Tucker if Bregman hits the home run off of him, now you're saying, what are you doing? Okay. That part of the order should not have beaten the Yankees. You look at the type of year that Maldonado hit the double. A guy hit under 200 for the last 2 seasons, right? Drives in a run. Gurriel had 8 home runs in about 550 at bats, and all of a sudden he's hitting the ball out of the ballpark with 2 strikes, 0-2 in the count. So weird things happen sometimes. I think what he was trying to do. I know it's a long answer. I'm sorry. What I think he was trying to do was get through that part because he did have. Guys like Loaiza and Holmes, but they were for a little bit later in the game. You have to get a lead. The team that gets the lead gets to dictate how you use your bullpen. If the Astros didn't have the lead, they were not bringing those guys in. You're not seeing Montero and Presley.
Yep.
If you get the lead, you can dictate how you use your pen.
That's true. So we're talking to Sweeny Murti, of course, WFAN Yankees reporter. He's got the podcast with our buddy Keith McPherson. It's called BXB. I don't even know if this is a question as much as it is an observation, kind of open-ended. Take me wherever and take us wherever you want to go. There are 3 teams, okay, that as Yankee fans, all the playoff battles, really going back to the wild card with Seattle in 95. 3 teams that you just kind of held your breath and didn't swallow when they were up to bat. Seattle with Griffey and Buhner and Edgar, terrified of that lineup. Boston when they were at their apex, obviously Manny, Big Papi, etc. And this Astros team, man, I know what you're saying the lower third of the lineup is not incredibly imposing.
Yeah.
But I just feel like, and you don't feel like this often as a Yankee fan, Sween, when the Astros dig into the box, I almost expect bad things to happen.
Yeah, and listen,
it's crazy.
Your history tells you that, okay? And you see Altuve and you see Bregman, you see the type of year Alvarez had. But, we talked about this a little bit yesterday. It's not George Springer. It's not Carlos Correa. You've lost, it's not Michael Brantley, okay? That when I watch the Astros in spurts or box scores or things like that at the end of the season, I was kind of amazed at how often they were getting shut down, that they were not as strong an offensive team as they had been in years past. The Seattle series showed you a little bit of that too. Now, Seattle has, you could read that as Seattle pitched really well. They have good pitching. The Yankees have pretty good pitching, okay? And it's better than I think we want to believe. Last night probably isn't a great example because of what the bottom half of the order did against Schmidt in the 6th inning. But, I just don't see. And I talked to somebody who faced them in the West a lot yesterday, And they said, yeah, it's a little bit like the Yankees lineup. It's pretty top-heavy, and then you've got guys who, okay, maybe they do some damages, but like the Yankees have Bader in the bottom half of their lineup. You wouldn't expect him as a guy that you'd be scared of. I guess sometimes weird things just happen in October,
Yeah, no, it's definitely true. But I think something we've seen a lot of is striking out. 17 strikeouts they had in this game. Matt Carpenter, we excuse. We just talked about it when he first came on, Sweeny. But Josh Donaldson had 3 of them. Yeah. And one of them, he didn't take his bat off his shoulder.
Three looking, right?
Do we really see him playing every day throughout this series?
Yeah, listen, I mean, one of the things when early in the year when everybody was healthy, the idea was, okay, DJ LeMahieu is here, and okay, you're going to play him at second, you're going to play him at third, you're going to move these guys around, and it'll give you an option. If DJ LeMahieu was healthy and doing what he's doing, and Donaldson was hitting like this, I forget when it was, but it was kind of, I guess it was probably in August. I don't think LeMahieu had gotten hurt yet, but you were thinking about the idea of, okay, who's going to sit? And you were going to have to, because Torres hadn't gotten hot again. Torres was having a miserable second half of the season, and Donaldson hadn't done anything really much of the season. You're like, okay, is LeMahieu going to play for Torres, or is LeMahieu going to play for Donaldson? Because he's going to play for one of them. Well, guess what? LeMahieu's not an option, so both of these guys have to play. Torres did get hot a little bit again at the end of the season. Donaldson never did. Based on what we talked about, I can see maybe moving Bader up in the lineup. You put Cabrera up in the lineup, move Donaldson down. But there's not another great option here for that. And as far as the strikeouts, it looks awful when you're striking out 17 times, Tiki. But, the other part of that, the flip side of that was you always say, well, you strike out, you need to hit some runners in scoring position. Well, the Yankees were 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position. The Astros were 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position. The Yankees left 7 runners on base. The Astros left 7 runners on base. The Astros only struck out twice. So the strikeout, while they're greatly disparate, really had little bearing on the outcome of the game, if you understand what I mean. It was the home runs that did it, and the Astros hit more of them.
But it's the optics. It's the empty at-bats.
Of course it is, but it didn't matter. Like the Astros made outs by putting their bat on the ball, and it had zero.
Yeah, but hold on a sec, Sweeny. But no, I got you. But if Donaldson would have made it out by putting his bat on the ball, the Yankees would have scored a run
in the third inning. Yes, right, correct. Yeah, but
so it did impact the game.
No, I understand because they lost, but the Astros also went 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position. They didn't have a productive out that scored a run. You say, see, they put their bat on the ball and scored a run, and the Yankees didn't. That didn't happen that way. They hit home runs.
I get that. It's just, I know we got to go. It's just incredible how somebody who's won an MVP.
Yeah, and you're counting, and he was good last year too.
Yeah.
He had a really good year last year. All of a sudden, 35, and you're like, okay, is this all he's got? Because he spent all year not catching up to fastballs.
Correct.
He played better on defense, I think, than people probably want to admit. But there's not a lot of, like I said, healthy DJ LeMahieu gives you options, and you don't have one.
Yeah, I mean, we could beat this to a bloody pulp, but it's just the pronounced leg kick. It's the elongated hitch. I mean, he's trying. Listen, he lost a little bat speed. It happens. That's what happens as you get older. But now, he's susceptible to the soft stuff. He looks lost, and there's no adjustments. It really. Listen, if you're going to lose...
He actually had a good start to this postseason.
It
wasn't power. Had singles, drew walks. He got on base quite a bit.
He's been terrible this season. He's been a horrendous addition by Brian Cashman. Horrendous. And by the way, everybody tells me he's such a good third baseman. Every time the ball's hit to him, I think he double clutches. Every time.
He makes plays. He does.
All right, buddy. I hear you. All right, Sween. Thank you, pal.
Okay, buddy.
Thank
See
you
later. See you, Teak.
Sweeney.